Hello everyone, my name is Mordecai, and welcome back. This week I would like to cover the day and night cycle within the game, and how it directly affects a particular perk that I've been kind of wanting to cover now for several weeks. So without that, I'm going to cut over and get right into it.
Lars is standing by to gather storm intel, Commander. Let's launch that van.
Alright guys, the whole point of this experiment is to let you guys know A, when dusk starts, when dawn starts, and approximately the time frame in the game when each mission starts, and I should be able to pinpoint that. I picked Dire because his ability actually kicks in during the dusk, and he gets a little blue swirling like effect around his feet. So it made sense for me to use him to be able to identify appropriately when each of those moments starts. So if you're wondering, I picked a city stage, and I'm actually looking for something in particular. Let me kind of run around here and see if I can find it. Some of you guys may have played these games before, or at least these maps, and noticed that there is actually a clock tower. And for the longest time, I say longest, within a couple of months of me playing the game, I didn't realize that the clock in this game actually works. And perfect, there's one right now. So I'm gonna run over to it. But yes, they actually work within the game. It's obviously doesn't keep up with our real time because the game speed is much faster. So I can get up here and kind of show you what I'm talking about. So let me see if I can just build my way up here. Up, build, there we go. Alright, so looking at this, it says it's 10 o'clock. It's about every click is about, it's rough to tell, it looks like about a minute and a half. I'll do the math once the video is actually over and kind of put that in a whole nother area. So judging by that and the timer that I have to the side on my laptop running, it looks like every mission starts at 9 a.m. So counting these ticks, that looks to be 45 seconds. So I'm going to prove a point right here. When it gets to 11 a.m., I'm going to put a timer up here in the top right. Keep an eye on it and you'll be able to double check me from this as well. So here we go. Yeah, I think I'm right just based on the speed that it's going. I believe it's 45 seconds is 1 hour within the game. So backing that up based on the timer that I have on my side laptop, that would actually confirm that 9 a.m. is the start time. I'm going to do a couple of the missions and confirm this, and again I'll do a slide towards the very end of the video to kind of pull everything together. But it looks like every mission is going to start at 9 a.m. So that gives us a nice starting point to figure out when the dusk, the dawn, and just how effective some of these other perks are actually going to be for us. So there you go, 45 seconds on the nose. Alright, so been waiting. I kind of cut out a lot of the footage. Didn't exactly want you guys watching me watch a clock for quite literally 20 minutes, it feels like. Still no blue swirly around my feet yet, so it's not considered dusk yet. My guess is it's probably gonna be around, I don't know, either 7 or 8 would be my guess. So we'll see. When 7 hits, I'll know for sure if it's that or if it's gonna be a little later. And there you go, and you heard the howl. So let's see when it actually ends. Alright, once again, I've been waiting for quite a while. Cut out all the boring parts. We're at 5 a.m., still got the little swirl. And that moon, there's going to be a bonus thing about this moon that I've noticed while doing this little experiment. So the moon and the sun. I'll point it out just for fun, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the perks. So again, just for fun, I'll do it towards the end of the video. Alright, 5:30, just past it now. And again, I'm going to cover everything at the end on another script, or on another stage. So don't worry if you missed anything, I'm going to touch up on what I think about it. So let's see if it ends when I think it's going to. Oh, it ends at 6. Okay, I'm going to go over to another slide and kind of touch up on everything that I've noticed during this whole experiment. Okay guys, I've set this up hopefully in a manner that will be kind of easy to understand. As the slides go on, you may get a better feel for what I'm trying to do here. So starting off, we can confirm that every mission starts at 9 a.m. game time. We can also confirm that every hour in the game is 45 seconds, as the footage prior to this showed. We did the countdown to prove a point. You know, it's 45 seconds, you got an hour. After that, we can confirm that Eve starts at 7 p.m. in the game. Based again on the footage, you saw the sparkles around the feet. You know at 7 p.m. it hits. We can also confirm that morning in the game starts at 6 a.m. So that's when you're going to lose your perk. So the swirly went away, so there's no debating it. It's gone at 6 a.m. Using all that information, we can now figure out just how useful this perk can be to people, because I hear it all the time, people saying, well, by the time your perk is actually useful, I'm out of the mission. That's bogus, and I'm about to prove it, just to show everybody that this thing can be useful. So when the first person enters the game, the timer starts. So it starts at 9 a.m. inside the game. And after that, 7 minutes, 30 seconds will pass, and then it'll be 7 p.m. in the game. On the next couple slides, I'm going to show a small spreadsheet on the side that's going to show how I came about these numbers. But if you wanted to do it yourself, think of it again. It starts at 9 a.m., 45 seconds every single time, and you can add it up and you get 7 minutes and 30 seconds. After 7 p.m., again, I did the math based on the time, you will have 8 minutes and 15 seconds where this perk is active. So during that whole time, you're going to get the benefit of either the speed from Dire or Hunter's Instinct. You're going to get the damage and the life leech as it builds up. After daybreak, meaning once 6 a.m. hits, you won't be able to use that perk again for another 9 minutes and 45 seconds. By then, you should be out of the mission unless you guys are just farming and having fun. So you have a sweet spot, basically, that you've got between a 7 minute and 30 second mark and a 15 minute and 45 second mark where your perk is going to be active. And again, I'm going to show where I got those times in case you don't want to do the math yourself. Again, this is to educate not only myself, because this was fun to figure out, it's also nice for you guys to understand it too. So now that we know how the perk works and we know the times in the game and we can pinpoint when you get it, let's take a look and see which missions are probably not useful for it and which ones it'll actually be beneficial for. So again, on the right, you're going to see the spreadsheet. I did a quick snapshot and showed it there to show that window and how I came about the times and the hours. Using that information, starting with repair the shelter, there's not really a set time that I've seen until somebody goes to activate the shelter itself. Meaning, you hit start, you get everybody to vote yes. There seems to always kind of be a small delay. So between the fact of starting the mission and actually being able to look for the modules, it looks like you can't actually do the final fight. And once you've collected all the modules, you can actually do the final defense. You can't do that no matter what until after about the 8 minute and 30 second mark. So if you're successful and you get them all before that mark, then you're going to have another 4 minutes that you're going to have to fight in the mission. So that's going to give you an approximate total of 12 minutes and 30 seconds inside the game. So to me, that's well within the window for the perk to be active. If you look on the right, you're starting at 8.5 minutes, which is right there at 8 p.m. in the game. It's only going to last 4 minutes. Bam, you have the full effect of your perk. So anybody who tells you that you're going to be wasting your time is full of crap. This proves it right here. The next one, retrieve the data, is a little... You're going to get it about halfway. So to give you an idea, when you zone in, again, your timer's going to start. So you're going to be looking around for the weather balloon. You're automatically going to have a timer of 18 minutes the minute that the mission technically starts. So during that time period, you're looking around, you'll find the balloon, you'll set up your defenses. After all of that is said and done, you can shoot the balloon down at the when there's 8 minutes left on the mission. After that, you have to defend for another 8 minutes. So to keep that into perspective, your 10 minutes are going to pass before you can actually start the mission. So at that point, it's going to be 11 p.m. in the game. Your perk is active. So you have to defend for another 8 minutes. So if you're looking at the spreadsheet there on the far right, you're going all the way down into 9 a.m. So unfortunately, the last about 3 minutes or so, you're not going to have your perk. But for the first big half of it, I shouldn't really call it big half because both are pretty much the same. The first 5 minutes of the battle, you're going to have your perk. So it's up to you if you want to deem that as being useful or not. To me, it could be. It just depends. So that's kind of personal preference. This one, evacuate the shelter, is another one that's kind of a small one, or kind of a hard one to really pinpoint, because all the tests I did, the mission timer kind of changed a little bit depending on when people joined and things like that. I gave it an approximate delay of about 1 minute and 30 seconds before Ray speaks up and says, hey, you need to go defend the shelter. And then when you get there, you got to kill an X amount of enemies depending on how many people's in your game. So I tacked on about an approximate minute 30 seconds again. So let's say 3 minutes of prep time by the time you get to the shelter, defend it, then your mission timer starts. So you got to wait for it to recharge, and that's a 10-minute timer. Once that's done, you're going to have about an 8-minute defense, if I remember correctly. So all in all, you're in this one for quite a while. So it's a total of 20 minutes. The problem that I noticed during this whole thing is by the time that the mission actually starts, you're looking at around the 12 to 13 minute mark, depending on how lucky you get with the start. So you're only going to get like maybe 2 or 3 minutes out of this perk. So to me, it's really not worth taking at all, this particular mission. For Ride the Lightning, this one, the next couple, I hate to say this and I don't want to cop out on it. It's kind of hard to give you an exact time on these because anybody that's done it knows there's no set timer really on Ride the Lightning to start. It's just how long it takes you and your group to get your blue glow, get your defenses set up, and get prepared to fight. Most groups that I've ran with, and this is including just pickup groups and even friends, we've mostly always had it ready before the 7-minute mark, and it wasn't. My team had no idea I was running the Hunter's Instinct because most of my friends didn't even know if it was useful. I've actually been using it now for about 4 weeks, so this was kind of my way to blind test to see roughly what I was going to get, and I was usually done and ready to actually launch the van before 7 minutes. So in most of these, I was always going to have the benefit of my perk as long as we rushed it. In terms of once the first defense was done, if everything loaded up and the husks were coming from the same direction and we had traps set up, or if we didn't even need them, we were set, launched it again, you're going to have your window for your perks for the entire thing. Kind of the same deal with the Atlas. It depends on how many you got, depends on how much blue gold you need. At that time, you got to set up your defenses. So again, it really depends on your group. You're going to have... honestly, I would have to give you about 7 minutes on this one too. It's kind of the same deal. It all depends on your group on these last couple. So that one and the last one, which I should have fixed on here, should have been deliver the bomb. So I'm going to mark that out whenever I edit the video, and I'll put in the new little text window right here. Deliver the bomb is the same deal. You need the 4 blue glow. So by the time you get it, put it in the armory, move your tracks and all that. A lot of times that can go over 7 minutes depending on how far away the armory is from the actual launcher. So these last 3 are, again, and I hate to keep repeating that, it's all dependent on your group. So hopefully this knowledge helps you. It may not. Again, I was in several groups, and I finally mentioned to people that I was using this perk. A lot of them kind of laughed at me and said, well, that's useless. We're going to be done before then. And I kept countering, saying, well, no, not really. It's, if you think about how long you're actually in the game, it doesn't seem that long, but it builds up over time. So this is kind of my way to not only educate myself, but maybe show others that this perk can be pretty good. It's not overpowered. It's not the greatest thing since sliced bread. There's plenty of perks out there that are great, and I don't want to be one of these guys that's going to tell you always use this perk, because that's just not my style. So hopefully this helps you guys make your decisions on maybe certain missions you want to run this build, or maybe this just scares you away from it entirely just because of the variable depending on your group. But again, that's what this whole thing's about, is to kind of educate each other. Let me learn from you guys learn from me. So with that, I'm going to cut over to the last little bit, and it was regarding the sun and moon part. Again, that's not really, it has nothing to do with the whole hunter's instinct or any of the other perks. It was just something I noticed, which I thought was kind of weird. So if you want to stick around for it, great. If not, you can cut it here, and then I guess I'll see you next week either way. So I'm going to cut over to the next window, and we'll see what we got. Alright guys, so this is the tiny little bit of footage I want to show you guys that I thought was a little bit of fun. While recording, I happened to notice and kind of paid attention to the sun during this, and found out that it actually rises in the south and sets in the north. And then in just a second here, I'm going to cut the footage over, and you can see here, the moon actually rises in the north and sets in the south. Now, I know they're just using the same asset and rotating it back and forth, but it's an interesting design choice if you think about it, to have the sun go from south to north and the moon north to south, and then the cycle just repeats. So I know there's always been a lot of theories about the planet itself and things like that, so hey, if this helps you out with your your hunt on that quest, great. Alright, I'm going to go over and do my final sequence, and I'll see you on that slide. Alright everyone, that's how it works, and hopefully that was beneficial to you guys. I'm one of these guys, I don't really want to come out and tell you, this is the best, always use this, because to me that always comes across as a type of clickbait, and that's something I really don't want to do. So what I would like to do is to give you guys the information that I've been able to discover and let you make your own decisions, because I feel like the more you know, the better player you're going to be as well. Not just me, but you guys as well. So it's one of those, if you actually understand it and know the pros and the cons, you can make better choices not only with this option, but even future ones if they ever introduce some maybe a perk that goes about for daylight rather than nighttime. So, you know, if this helps, great. I'm going to always keep trying to do these type of guides to help educate people, to let them understand how the different things work, how they reflect with each other, and still try to help out the new players. So I'm going to cut out, and I'll see you guys next week.